Let's talk about a gaming trend that currently isn't really a trend as much as it used to be in the 90s and early 2000s. And I'm talking about split screen gaming, couch co op games that you could play with your friends at the same house on the same TV and get split into split screens. Before we get to just about what happened to this, when did this first started, when did it become popular, the decline of it, and where it's at today in the future, let me tell you what it actually is because some of you idiots probably don't know what it is. Split screen is self explanatory, it's in the game. It takes a TV, split it up either two ways, three ways, or up to four ways, depending on the game and how many players are playing at the time. And it does this by splitting down the graphics and make it so simultaneously that it's all in one, so each player have their own viewing screen while they're playing the game. Some of the most popular split screen gamings includes lists of Halo, Call of Duty, a whole bunch of Nintendo games, GoldenEye 007, which was one of the first newer ones. Now, what do I tell you? GoldenEye wasn't the first one. Neither was Mario Kart 64. The first form of split screen gaming was seen in the arcades by a game known as Drag Race. It's a racing game, so it's kind of self explanatory. And this came out in 1977. And before this, a game that many of you know as the first game over, known as Pong, had cooperative play, but that's not split screen gaming. Maybe that's a video for another day. And other games of the 70s include a game called Kickstart 2, which is another racing game, Lotus Esprit Turbo Silence, and many more. But most of these are arcade games, and you didn't have the ability to play them at home unless your mom bought an arcade machine or something like that. Because of these games in the 70s and the 80s and 90s, more and more gaming developers used this split screen gaming feature for their games. In the 80s, it was Kickstarter 2, which I mentioned earlier, Lotus, I mentioned earlier, Road Rash. Development of these games isn't as easy as it is now, and back then, they struggled with this format. It wasn't until the 80s that it became a common feature, and they struggle because the hardware sucks. If you look at a computer from the 80s and look at one now, totally different. And that's probably a reason in the decline of these, which we'll get on later. Now, the real surge of this wasn't in the 80s, that was just a few models for racing games. Now, the real surge of this wasn't in the 80s, it was in the 90s. Those are just a few examples that use split screen gaming. Most of them are just racing games. It wasn't as high tech as it is now with games like Split Fiction and a whole bunch of Hazelight Studios game now. We'll delve into that. The real surge came in the 90s, and most particularly the late 90s, early 2000s. Why? Because of polygon based graphics, which made the screen being split way easier for developers. Another reason is the computers just got better. They wasn't slow and hold them down and cause up time like they did in the 80s. They got better. Also, a lot of more home consoles helped too because the home consoles, PlayStations, Nintendo 64s was just better than the computer from the 80s. And also bigger TVs. Also, game developers switched to CDs instead of those cartridges because the CDs allowed for more storage to be stored on the file, however you want to call it, instead of those cartridges which didn't have as much storage. And another reason why the boom in the 90s, because a lot of people became gamers in the 90s. It's that simple. Even though it's not as big as they are now and not as mainstream as it is now, there was a lot of gamers in the 90s. From the late 90s until about 2010, most games had some type of couch co-op split screen gaming in it. And then around mid 2010s, it slowly went away. Why? Well, a lot of people started playing online games, and that didn't cause the need for it to be split screens because you and your friend can have Xboxes or PlayStations, whatever gaming console you choose, and play together instead of buying just one game. And at the time, more and more people had gaming consoles at home than they did in the late 90s, early 2000s, as you can see with the sales of some of these. Another reason was development time often took some time because doing the split screen for games that had better graphics in its pixels took more time and more computing power than it did in the 90s, early 2000s, because by this time gaming graphics had already been so much better than what they was just about a decade ago. But let's be honest, the main reason why gaming companies stopped doing this was because money. Let's be honest, the less people you can have play on one console, the more games you can sell, because they'll probably have to get another gaming console, then buy the game twice, just so two people could play the game in the same house. It's no secret. Another reason is because everybody started to have internet. Because if you're old enough, back in the 90s, early in 2000s, everybody didn't have internet at their house. So it was kind of hard to even play games with people because they would have to go over your house if they didn't have internet. Some people would know about this. Some don't even know about this. They'll probably die without internet. So where do this lead split screen gaming for now in the future? So for now, it's some still games out there that still have split screen features, such as Borderlands 4, I believe, which releases sometime soon. The Lego games, it takes pretty much every Hazelight Studios game has some type of split screen. Commando, Shadows of the Ninja Reborn, Revenge of the Savage Planet, and it's probably more. Now, will this trend ever come back to the popularity of the 90s or 2000s? I doubt it because of some of the many reasons I listed earlier, such as money. Money will always be a factor in what gaming developers do. If it don't make money, it don't make sense. Also, possibly not because it's still a lot of people who just likes to play online games rather than co-op games. And when I mean co-op, I mean like the story mode. Because a lot of people are getting into esports, which is slowly dying, by the way. Everybody want to be a YouTuber, Twitch, and play with their friends, get funny moments. I get it. But I don't know if it'll ever be as big as it was in the 90s, early 2000s. But I do believe it's slowly making a comeback to where this game trend can have some type of opportunity for games. But that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments what was your favorite split screen games. What's your favorite memories with these types of games? But like, comment, share. I'm out. Peace. Y'all niggas be easy.